Copies worldwide. Shootouts, street fights, club fights, whatever you name it, been there, done that. Man, I experienced the ups and downs of this fast life. So I want to share with you my story. This Napoleon, life of an outlaw.
Napoleon, now inspired by faith, is helping the young move away from a life of trouble.
I mentioned in the documentary, man, I had 3 houses, cars, jewelry. Every 6 months I'm cashing checks for $300,000, $150,000. Everything I wanted I was able to acquire, but the only thing I didn't have was happiness. Believe it or not, every single day I would go to sleep in this big house and I would lay my head down and I was depressed. And it happened to one day I almost murdered my own little brother with that same sick mentality. My same little brother who was 6 months old when my mother and father got murdered. He was in the house. My same little brother that I said I'm going to protect, and me and my brother's going to raise him. With that same mentality, as I mentioned in the video, I got into a fight with him. I tried to murder my little brother. He got sent to the hospital, had to get staples to close his head back together. And I decided that that was it for me. I wanted to make a turn and make a change in my life. So I was able to walk away from that lifestyle with my life. Many of the people that I grew up with, they wasn't lucky. Many of my friends that's in jail right now. Many of my friends got murdered. Many of my friends I know that's in wheelchairs from getting shot. The thing that I'm speaking to you guys out here, man, because you guys are living in a unique situation right now. You guys got Bloods and Crips out here. You guys got a large amount of night crime out there. You guys got gangs out here. Maybe you might think it's a joke. Maybe you might say, well, I'm a gangster. But on the street, there's always somebody more of a gangster than you. Many gangsters don't survive. The cemetery is full of so-called gangsters because it's take nothing for an individual to point a gun to you and click a gun. It could take a punk. Matter of fact, most people that shoot guns are punks. You don't have to be a gangster to pull a weapon out and shoot a person. Matter of fact, they're a bunch of punks. So you guys living in a time that you might think is a joke right now. But in America, the people that started the Bloods and the Crips, they thought it was a joke when they first started the Bloods and the Crips. It started off with only fist fights. Then it graduated to knife fights the way you guys at right now. And then eventually it went to gunplay. To the point that in Philadelphia, which is a small city on the east coast of America, Philadelphia, last year they had 370 murders from young African American males and young Hispanic males. Do you want to live in an environment? Can you imagine living in a borough and 1 year's 370 murders? If you live in a situation like that, then that's a chance that it could be any one of y'all. Chicago right now, the year's not even over. They got about 70 young kids in high school murdering each other. High school, can you imagine in high school? Arguing with an individual in high school, and after high school he put a gun to your head and blow your brains out. Can you imagine they living in that situation right now in America? This is not the movies. This is not the movie. This happened every single day. Before I came out here, a few days before I came to London this trip, a police officer 20 minutes from my house got murdered, broad daylight, got shot in the head, broad daylight. These are police officers walking around with guns. What about other people? Do you want to live in an environment like that? You might think it's a joke because you might be a gangster, you might talk like a gangster, probably because you never had a gun pointed at your face. Probably you never even smelled gunpowder in your life before. Man, this is real talk.
Napoleon visited youths in many different locations, from schools to sports grounds and half of the mosques in the borough, using his former reputation and his newfound faith to reach out to the young.
This is not what the religions invented. This is the religion of Islam. This had nothing to do with the religion.
Teaching young Muslims to study their deen, the path of Prophet Muhammad and his companions.
They study their deen, they learn Tawheed, and that's how they move forward.
My name is Umar Elahi. I'm one of the trustees and the founder member of this mosque. We are very pleased that Sadr guys took this step to bring him over here. I asked him a few questions, what makes him to become a Muslim, and he told me all that he was looking for happiness, and he found in the Quran that that's the true religion. So we are very happy.